Hi guys, this video is a special video, I want to call it, because I'm starting a new series called Movies and Makeup. Now I don't have an intro like Bailey Sarian does, but I'm so excited because I love movies, and this idea came from Jamie French. She's another beauty YouTuber. Actually, she just announced that she's not doing beauty anymore, but she's so funny. If you guys have a chance, go watch her. She's awesome. But she started doing this. Now she reviews like older movies, like movies that she finds funny from the 90s or whenever. So she'll review that. But I want to review what I've been watching, basically the latest and greatest, because my husband and I, we love to watch movies. That's basically all we watch. We don't watch regular TV. We haven't in a long time. My mother-in-law has quite the collection of movies too, so when we go and hang out with her, we watch movies. We would rather watch Netflix, Netflix movies, or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus over watching TV shows. And I figured, why not? That is a fabulous idea, because I can talk about the movie while I'm doing my makeup. Kind of like Bailey Sarian, where she does her makeup while she's talking about murder mystery. Now, at first I was a little nervous about doing this because I figured that people would be like, oh, she's copying Jamie French. But there's so many people that talk about crime and murder mystery that, Bailey does it also, but she just adds her own spin on it. So that's kind of what that's what I feel that I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about movies, but I'll add my own spin on it. Now, I will warn you that since I'm talking about the latest and greatest movies, there will be spoilers. So you'll always see it in the title of the video of what movie I'm going to be talking about. So if you haven't watched a movie, or you want to, or you plan on watching it, then maybe wait to watch my video until you watch the movie. And then the exciting part is it's kind of like a book club. We could talk about it down in the comments. You guys could tell me what you think about the movie. And I think I'm really excited because I think that'll be a lot of fun. Like I said, it's a book club, but in this case, it'll be a movie club. Regardless of the spoilers, I'll try not to talk about the end because nobody likes hearing about the end of the movie. So in case you maybe want to kind of learn what the movie is about, then, I recommend definitely watching this before you watch the movie. See if it's worth your time. You guys watch whichever way you feel more comfortable. But I love movies. I love makeup. Why not do both together? So basically, I'm going to be doing my makeup while I talk about the movie. All the makeup products that I use throughout the video, I will put them in the description box below. So without further ado, let's get into our first movies and makeup video. Yay! All right, so first we're going to put our hair out of the way. As you can see, my hair is freshly washed. I'm not wearing a ponytail. All right, so I'm going to put on some lip balm because I have chronically dry lips, which is terrible. I know, sometimes you probably have seen some videos where my lip is just really bad. So the movie we're going to talk about today is called A Quiet Place 2. If you haven't watched A Quiet Place, the first one, then I don't recommend listening to this video until you watch the first movie. But if you have, as you know, the movie was written and directed by John Krasinski. He's actually a really good director. And he also, I can't believe how you could write a movie, direct it, and star in it. That's got to be a lot of work. I don't even know how you could do something like that. But that's probably why he didn't come fully back in this movie, because he probably was like, that was a lot of work. He was probably exhausted. The main characters are John Krasinski, of course, Emily Blunt, Cillian Murphy, Millicent Simmons, which is the little girl that's Steph, Noah Jupe, I think I'm saying his last name correctly, which is the little boy. The last major actor is Jaimin Hansu. They are the main characters. What I liked about this movie was that they finally gave us a backstory on how it all started. As you know, in the first movie, they basically threw us into the action. The monsters were already there, and you were just, at least I was wondering, I'm like, well, how did they get to, how did these monsters land on Earth or whatever, like these aliens? So with this movie, I'm glad they gave us the backstory of how the aliens got to Earth and how they realized that you had to be basically quiet. And it also obviously was a perfect way to introduce Cillian into the movie, because otherwise we would have been like, well, where did you find this guy? Where did he come from? So, you know, it was a good way to kind of segue into introducing him into the movie, and at the same time letting us know how this all started. So basically the way the movie starts is that, you know, you get that backstory, then they jump in exactly where the last movie left off, you know, like where, you know, she's just relieved that they figured out how to get rid of the monsters, and they basically were safe, you know, safe, but not really, because the monsters were still there, are still on Earth. But it picks up exactly where it left off. At first I was a little confused, because I was like, well, why are they leaving this farm where they had basically everything? They were protected. It looked like their dad, or in this case, John, he pretty much left them with everything to be set up, like for them to be safe, you know, and have these precautions in case the monsters came back, etc., etc. I was curious, as like, why are they leaving? They got everything they need. They have the safety. Even my husband commented on that. Why would they walk away? But it seems that they felt that there was more people out there. Maybe there was maybe a safe place they could go to that had more people, because she does say, you know, there's more people that can be saved. So they're walking along, and it seems that they come upon, it looked like and you guys correct me because I never investigated what it was, but it looked like some sort of like factory. And because it had like, I don't know what are they called, like tunnels or tubes or anything, and even ovens where they could lock in. So it was like a foundry, and they could lock themselves in there. But that's where they come across Cillian. Now, Cillian, at first, he was not very nice. At least I don't think so, because he was literally watching them through the gun scope, you know, through the scope of a gun. He's watching them come to closer, and then he sees the little boy's leg get caught in a bear trap, and he's just watching, and the poor little boy is just like, I mean, I know he put it out there probably for the monsters, but he's watching this little boy scream in so much pain, you know, the little boy that's the little brother, and he's just still watching them too. I mean, maybe I get that he was scared or didn't know what I don't know. I don't think they looked like they would be dangerous people. I mean, it's a mom with the little kids. They didn't look like, I wouldn't think that was harmful. And I know the way they portray the movie is like that he was just really like traumatized and didn't want to be around people because he thought that, you know, he couldn't save them or whatever. But I mean, come on, to me, that was a little far-fetched, because you're always going to be like, at least I've noticed that everybody in the worst situation, and we've seen this right now throughout, you know, what we just passed, I'm not going to say the name, what we just went through, that everybody becomes very compassionate. I mean, it just comes out, unless you're like a real evil person, but everybody tries to help. You just naturally want to help other people through difficult times. And for him to just be there so cold and watch him get hurt and not do anything, I think as the mom, I would have been a little worried to have my children around a person like that. I would be like, I don't know about you, because you watched my son get hurt and scream in pain, but you just didn't do anything or come out to help us. It was obvious that he wanted nothing to do with them, because they got there, and the only reason he let them stay was because she has a baby. But at the same time, you wouldn't know how to react unless you're in something like that. For me, I think I would be all over trying to help everybody. Obviously, you have to be careful, because at the same time, too, it's like they'll try to steal your toilet paper if they can. If you guys know what I mean. They will take your toilet paper. I never realized how much people could get angry over toilet paper, but whatever. I like the movie. What I liked about the movie is that they did a really good job of having you in suspense. I mean, there was one time where a monster just pops out and I'm like, ah! I rarely scream because it's kind of like you see that coming. A lot of parts in this movie, you didn't see it coming because you could get surprised so much like that. I think John did a really good job setting up those scenes. You really were on edge pretty much the whole time. I think there were some parts of the movie that I was like, really? Seriously? Would you really do that? Like her stopping at the cross. And I get it. Her husband died. She wanted to have a memorial to him, blah, blah, blah. But me as a mom, there's no way I would stop knowing that I have a baby and a little boy, a defenseless boy with, hurt leg, broken, I don't know what it was, back there at the mercy of perhaps monsters. Also, if you're a parent, you know that your kids, that your little ones do not have, either they don't listen or they just think things are a lot less dangerous than they really are. So they're gonna do things that will put them in danger because they don't have that sense of seeing to the future of this might happen or that might happen. So as a parent, at least me, I'm like that with my kids because they're like, why don't you let me do this or that? And I'm like, this might happen or that might happen. Or maybe, am I just a worrywart? Could be. I don't know. But I would either have brought my kids with, if I wanted to stop and have a little memorial for my husband with my other son, because I know this cross for the son that was lost in the previous movie, from what I gathered, it looks like it's on the way because she needed obviously a new oxygen tank for her baby. I'm pretty sure it's on the way to get these provisions, but I would just be so scared to leave my kids alone. I would be terrified to leave my kids alone to begin with, and way more terrified to leave them alone for a long time, for longer than it was necessary. I would have just been like booking it to the store and booking it back, not wanting, because what if a monster came upon you? You don't know, you just want to go there and get back as quick as possible. So here she leaves this little boy that might not have good common sense yet because he's young with a brand new baby. That seems a bit unrealistic to me, I think. What do you guys think? So besides the mom taking her sweet time, allowing the son to get into trouble, making the monsters come, that was one of the things that I was like, I don't know about that. That was a little, but then again, it's a unrealistic movie in general. They could have made it a little bit more realistic, I think. I mean, I know we're talking about monsters and the end of the world, but still, I don't know. The other thing that I also didn't find too realistic is that, yes, the daughter was very brave. The one that was deaf was very brave and everything, but I mean, wasn't she like 13 or 14? Would you really let your, do you think as her, she would just go off in the middle of nowhere where there was monsters? I get that they wanted to portray that she was a little girl that was strong like her dad. It just seemed kind of realistic that she'd be like, I'm going to take off and go and save the world, going to find more people and letting everybody know. Because, I mean, she was really smart and figured out that there was more people somewhere because of the song, and the meaning of the song that they were able to hear over the radio. I get it. And then I'm just going to take off on my own with only the radio and a gun, which later shows that wouldn't have been enough for her to stay safe. And at that age, I don't know, it just seemed a bit too much. And then also, it sounds like they were gone for like days, and the mom didn't seem to be worried at all that they were gone for so long. Wouldn't you just be worried about your kid being all of a sudden gone for days? I'd be like really worried thinking they died. So anyway, he finds her, helps her out. They get to, they get to the water. She gets a boat somehow and takes him to this island. I mean, this girl is like super girl at 12 years old, or 13, because she looks really young. I don't think she was over 14 at the most. And all of a sudden, she gets this boat, she takes them, and then the monsters can't swim, but what did they do? Start the boat motor and decided to follow? I mean, they followed them? So how smart were these animals? Or these aliens? They were not able to swim. They couldn't see. They could only hear. But they were able to swim they were able to navigate this boat to the island? How, if they couldn't even see? So all of a sudden they're on this island and I'm like, what? I like a good suspense movie, and that's what it was. But if you look at all those little details, that you'd like, okay, that would not happen. Even if we were in a end of the world situation. I don't think it was as good as the first, which, they always say that sequels are usually not that great. Not counting the Fast and Furious, of course. Do you guys want me to review one of those movies? Let me know. Because those are one of my favorites. I mean, really, who doesn't like Vin Diesel? Seriously. I like the first movie a lot better, to be honest. I like the way it was all about family and relationships and working together. This one didn't have a lot of rhyme or reason beyond them telling you what happened at the beginning, or how did they get to that point. That was about it. If you've already watched The Quiet Place 2, did you like this one better or the first one? Both of them? Let me know in the comments below. So that, you guys, is this makeup look and my take on A Quiet Place 2. Alright, you guys, if you like this type of video, please let me know. If you like this type of makeup and movies, let me know, because I have watched so many movies that I could make hundreds of makeup and movies videos. Let me know what other movie you'd like me to review. If you like it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new here to my channel, I do now makeup and movies, and here on my channel basically we like to play with makeup. If you like that kind of content, I hope you decide to stay, subscribe, hit that bell so you know when I have uploaded a new video. You never know what you're gonna get next. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.